And welcome to this video that's going to explain to you how to navigate the final course project assignment. We know that we have individual course project installments in weeks 2 through weeks 6. However, you have time thereafter to put together the final course project that will, to some extent, have portions that you have already written, but will also contain new material altogether. So you will want to start now to be dividing out the projects that need additional work for the final project so that people can start working on it when they have time. So let's look at the course project overview in our modules under the Introduction and Resources section. We will see that here is a series of items for us to think about and the individual deliverables that are available. Now, let's look now instead at the final paper, because this is what I want to concentrate on with this video. The first thing, of course, is you're going to have a title page. You may have had a title page on your individual submissions, but this will be one that's specific to this particular project, and it also is a grade for your APA format overall. It's 10 points out of a total of 220. Next, you'll write an introduction. It's something you have not yet written, so this is going to be new material for you. Essentially, what you're going to do is you're going to provide an overview of the history of your multinational corporation, going through from, pretty much start to finish, but don't go more than 5 paragraphs at most. This isn't something that is going to go on forever. You want to also explain in a couple more paragraphs why you chose this particular MMC. And this could be done in one long paragraph or 2 short paragraphs probably, and you'll be fine. It has 25 total points. Next are the weekly summary and research sections. If you look at the actual directions here, although these appear to be different sections, they are actually one and the same if you actually look at the sections here. But what we're doing is you're going to put together your week 2 through week 6 installments, but you're going to put it together now in a sort of Reader's Digest version. In this Reader's Digest version, you're going to take what probably is 45 to 50 pages and bring it down to something like 15 pages. So you're going to cut back on a lot of the detail, but you're going to leave in the most important aspects of each of your installments. So I'd like you to actually entitle this section Weekly Summary / Research, so that I know that this is what you are writing about. Now, as part of this, there's going to be a slightly new section, and that's the research section, where you're going to answer a couple of questions, actually 3 questions. 2 questions and then 3 scholarly resources. 2 questions you're going to answer are how have changes in technology contributed to globalization of markets and production? This is a general question, not specific to your MMC. And would the globalization of production and markets have been possible without these technological changes? That's another question that you're going to be answering. This is, again, a general question, not specific to your MMC. So these things are, you have actually, to some extent, answered these questions as to your MMC already, but we're going to expand it out to just a general answer to these questions through all companies out in the world in the globalization process. All right, so you get a total of 70 points for these 2 sections, 30 points for essentially giving you a Reader's Digest of your previous work, and then the 40 points for answering these 2 questions. So you're looking at probably a couple of pages at the very least for these 2 questions. Give me some good examples. Make sure you have 3 additional scholarly resources to back up your research on this one section having to do with these 2 questions. A good idea would be place these subheadings of the questions themselves under the overall heading of weekly summary / research. Now, this analysis section is something that you have not done yet. and you will do as part of this final course project. You're going to apply the concepts from Chapter 18. You're also going to apply the scholarly articles that you already have, or may also add to this if you need to, but typically this will be what you've already used, to now create a profile of your MMC. Using these following subheadings: marketing, R&D, introduction. So tell us about the marketing and R&D for your company. Just introduce us to the topic. This shouldn't be more than a page, typically. Your global brand strategy for your MMC, the product attribute strategy, the distribution strategy, the communication strategy, the global advertising strategy, pricing strategy, and new product development strategy. These are all things we want to talk about specific to your MMC under an analysis heading. That's worth 55 points. You're talking probably about 5 or 6 pages for this, typically. Then we have what's called a conclusion section, and this is where you will provide a final assessment of your MMC. What I'd like to see here is for you to tell me what you found that was well done in terms of what this MMC has done in the world and has brought them some sort of positive results. And then I want you to tell me about at least 3 good items that you think probably aren't best or could have been improved in some fashion. Tell us what they are, describe them, describe why they were not done as well as they could have been done, and how perhaps they could be improved. And then essentially just a final word about what you think of the company in general. Maybe a paragraph would be fine. For this conclusion section, this is all new as well. Of course, your references, you have to, of course, cite your references in 2 places, both in the body of your paper in an in-text citation, and then in a separate references page with the long citations. Make sure that you cite them correctly in APA format, because that's part of the grade also. Again, a total of 220 points. Okay, so it looks to me like you've got a pretty good amount of work here. If we go back up here, you have the title page, the introduction, the research section, the analysis section, and the conclusion section that are all new. Okay, so this is new enough that you're going to have to start dividing out this work soon, because you're going to need to have people working on it for the next couple of weeks at the very least. Okay, if you have any questions, again, feel free to call or email me. I'd be more than glad to help.